go. Welcome to this section. My name is Derek Bello, and today we will be talking about how to deal with stressful events, most especially when it comes to substance abuse. Okay, and then before we start, we'll first of all we'll have to do a little housekeeping rules, and then one of which is we have to introduce ourselves. And once we get through introducing ourselves, we'll take turn to do that. Once we get through doing that, then members will be respectful to each other. Okay, we have to respect each other when someone is talking. We have to respect that person's opinion. We may disagree with the person, but we have to respect the person. We will not use epithets or derogatory words to refer to each other. The other thing is confidentiality. Actually, confidentiality here, because we're going to use what they call a group section, confidentiality here has limitation because every one of you in this group, actually, you were mandated by the court to be to come to defensive driving school. Okay, because of substance abuse, you were inebriated, you were drunk when you got pulled over by the police, and the court found you guilty of that offense. And one of the requirements is for you to actually come to this course, come to this class here, and then to see which other positive way that you can handle stressful situations. Instead of using substance to cope with your emotions, you want to use positive mechanism to help you cope with stressful issues. Okay, the next thing will be consent. Okay, what happens is that I would not need your consent if the court requires that your report should be sent to the court. Your consent is not needed. It has to be sent to the court because the court ordered you to come here. So there will not be no confidentiality on that. Anything you do here will be documented and will be reported to the court. You will be required to attend sections, okay? Because you were mandated by the court to come to class. Another thing is that your participation will be encouraged. I will encourage your participation, okay? And section will last for 45 minutes. Each section will last for 45 minutes. What's going to happen here is that we will meet in two forms. One will be to video conferencing, and the other one will be in persons. And we're going to use some methods too, where you will communicate with each other via texting, chat rooms, or through emails. All of those things will be encouraged. And then I will also provide you with some materials. Those materials will be sent to you. If you can provide me with your emails, I will send you the materials through emails. They will be in the form of PowerPoint presentations and so forth and so on. So you will be, you will have access to those things. And another thing that will be required of you is to journal. Write down your thoughts. What are some of the things that you think positive that can help you, and some of the things that you think that impact your way of doing things. Our treatment here actually will be done what we call CBT. It's cognitive behavior therapy. This therapy was actually introduced by a social psychologist by the name of Aaron Beck. He came up with this method here so that we can learn to deal with our emotions in a positive way instead of using substance to deal with our emotions. He encouraged us to actually use other coping mechanism, okay? And that will be required of each of you, how you're going to deal with your coping mechanism. What does that mean? It means what are some of the ways you're going to handle situation instead of drinking, okay? And one of the things that we're going to dwell on in this class is how drinking impacts not just the drinker, it impacts the family. Because When you get pulled over, it's not just you who is being dragged into the criminal justice system. It's your entire family. If you go to work, you can lose your source of income because of your intoxication. So those are some of the things that we're going to deal with. All right. And I will encourage each and every one of you to write down your thoughts. And as time goes on, this section here, we're going to meet for 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, you will be evaluated and see what kind of progress you have made. Another thing is that if you do not come to group, or you do not come to section, or you do not call in when we have to meet online, and you fail to do that, the first time, okay, the second time I'm mandated by the court to inform the court about your progress. So just letting you know of that. And another thing here is that one of the things that actually affect people that try to use substance is what they call self-talk, where you start thinking about some negative things. You know, I cannot deal with this thing here. Substance helps me. Maybe you do drugs or you drink alcohol excessively and so forth and so on. And what those things do is that they actually impact your life. They impact the way you function in your personal life and your professional life. So drugs actually has a negative consequences. The law says you can drink but be responsible. Once you get inebriated or you get drunk, then you have violated the law. And because of that, you were mandated by the court to come to this class. Some of the coping mechanisms that we're going to discuss here is try to talk to people. When you feel that if you get that urge of drinking, you want to talk to somebody, one of which is your peer. You know, you're going to, some people who have been sober for many years, we will try to link you and pair you with them, and then you can discuss. So when you feel trouble sometime and then you cannot talk to family members, you can also, you know, call your friend, talk to them. You can also call me, send me emails, you know, if I don't respond to you right there, but I definitely will try to give you some resources to help you do that. And then basically those will be some of the things, you know, which way you think you can do things differently so that you can lead a positive life. Because whenever you get intoxicated and you get behind the wheel, what it does is that you endanger your life and the life of others. Because once you get hurt, your family members will be hurt. If you kill someone, if you hurt someone, you hurt that person, family members as well. And then it is the responsibility of the criminal justice system to actually punish the offenders. This is why most all of you came to this section today. And one of the things that I'm going to encourage as well is that whenever you feel that you're anxious and you want to drink, you want to talk to someone, you want to write down your thoughts. Those I will encourage journaling in this section. Okay, so we would meet 2 times a week in persons, and we'll meet 3 times via the internet. We can do video conferencing. We can also do teleconferencing. Those things that work for every one of us, that what we would do. Teleconferencing, I would just set up the number and give you the access code, and you can just call at the appropriate time, the time that is decided upon, that is comfortable for every one of us. Okay, those would be some of the things. And then I will give you some homework, and then you'll go through those things. It's not pass or fail. It just which other way you think, you got tempted and you wanted to, drink, smoke something that is illegal, and to deal with your emotions or your feelings. But one of the things that I've learned over the years doing this thing is that self-talk is the most negative one. Like you think you're worthless, there is no hope. So you think substance can help you. And most of the time it does not. What it does is give you that quick fix. It makes you to actually not be in touch with reality for that moment. But once it wears out of your system, what happens is that the problem comes right back. And your body tends to build tolerance to the substance. So if you started with a glass of wine or a glass of Hennessy, after a while, a glass will not help you. You will increase it to 2 glasses or 3. And by the time you realize you become an addict, meaning you cannot function without those things, you become dependent on them. So those are some of the things this class has decided to do, to actually discourage us from depending on substance to function in society. Because one of the things is that whenever you have the urge to do so, think about your family members. That will encourage you. Think about your family, not just you. Because whenever you get involved with the criminal justice system, once again, as I said earlier, it's not just about you. It gets involved. Your family members and friends are all getting involved in this thing and will impact them one way or the other. And sometimes you can lose your family. Your spouse, your wife, or your husband may say, well, if you cannot make a change, we tried so many times, you went to AA meetings and NA meetings, but still there is no progress. So what's going to happen? I will leave with the kids because I can't stand this thing here. And if you're the only principal provider of your home, guess what? There is no source of income. So those are things that you want to think, you want to consider very strongly before you drink and drive or before you go to work. Because some jobs nowadays, they can just randomly ask you to go do a drug test. And when you are tested positive, you can also, your employment can be in jeopardy. Those are some of the things that we're going to talk about. Those are some of the things I want you to consider. Okay, talk to people. There are literature, there are resources out there. I will give you some, and I'll also provide them to you via the internet. I will send those to you through your emails, but whenever we come to class, I will have I will have hard copies for you to review, and we all can talk about it. Once again, this is a group section, confidentiality. You want to give minimum information on yourself, minimum disclosure of self, okay? Because there is no guarantee when you give any personal information here, it may be heard out there. So I will encourage every one of you, including my very self, to give limited information as possible. Nothing personal. We just want to talk about section here, and that's it. And what are some of the ways, positive ways, that we can deal with things instead of using what we call maladaptive behavior, which is detrimental towards our lives. Then we try to use some adaptive behavior, positive behavior, to replace the negative ones. And at the end of it all, will be evaluated and see what a progress we have made. But the section, once again, the treatment will be for 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, then I will evaluate the progress and see the progress that you have made. I am obliged by the court, I am obligated by the court to actually send report and update it. I can send written reports, or they can call me on the phone or ask me through emails to send some reports. So I would not need your consent on that. So confidentiality there, because you have a court order. There is no protection with that. Any other thing, your approval will be required, except if you decide to maybe go after me through the legal system, then confidentiality is actually out of the window. So those are some of the things I want you to actually consider. But at the end of it all, I can see progress. I can see people in this group here with great potentials who can do better in society. I mean, you can mentor someone else. There are a lot of resources, once again, out there, but I will actually encourage this group to actually do things a little differently, because like you, this is not your first DUI. I think this is your third DUI. So you want to consider, and you can actually lose your life when you get drunk and you drive. You can also lose your livelihood. You can help you as well as your family. So those are things that we want to consider. Most especially, we'll have a blogger. You will write your thoughts there, and then we'll discuss it. I will have a question there where we will all discuss and see what are some of the things that we're going to do. One of the questions will be, when you were tempted by friends to try to drink some alcohol, what are some of the strategies or coping mechanisms that you use to avoid doing drinking or smoking something that is illegal? Those are some of the things that we will discuss. Thank you.